How y'all doing, YouTube? My bad. I was just chewing ice, right? That's something my grandmother used to do. Anyway, so I'm making a video on why I started talking about mental health on my YouTube channel. So let's get this straight. I'm driving, yes, I'm going to work. But in the process of going to work, I'm like, yo, let me make a video real quick. Let me holler at you for a minute. So, boom, a little bit about myself is that I'm originally from the Bronx, right? And growing up in the Bronx, you grow up a lot of, depending on the environment you're around, but my personal environment was kind of toxic. It kind of was unhealthy. It was kind of something that you either thrive above it or you become a product of your environment. So, right, thankfully, gracefully, I think I've rose above any trials and tribulations life has given me, God-given, and I appreciate it all, right? I appreciate the challenges. I appreciate the struggle. I appreciate the journey through the steps, like through the trials and tribulations that I had. Now, why am I making a YouTube channel on mental health? I think that people in urban environments have a lot of mental health issues, and they arise because of there's not an equality. There's not a systemic equality. Like the same opportunity somebody in the suburbs have, I don't got them same opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like the same health care somebody else may have that it comes from a fortunate family, I may not have those same fortunes. And that's an issue, right? Because that is an issue, and because I've lived through it and I've realized that, like, oh wow, other people are living so much better in a different community than I am, or than the people I know. And it's almost evident, clear as day, that there's a difference between the people over there and the people over here. So how do we bridge that gap, right? How do we make sure that everybody is getting the same information and being open to the same opportunities, you know, and even when it's not even coming from, you know, the main place we learn the most is the household, you know, where we come from. But if there's somebody like the dad's not there and it's only a mother there, how can you be motivated? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you learn as a man to be a man without a man there, you know? And if it don't come from a father, an uncle, a brother, somebody that's teaching that young man to become a little bit better. So if you don't have that, that pushes you back. That puts you back. And what I've realized throughout this life is that if you're blessed to be in an environment where you're built to thrive, take that opportunity and rise above all the trials and tribulations life is going to give you, right? But if you're not, if you are one of those people who are struggling, who needs a community to push you, to build you so you can learn and educate yourself and become more, then guess what? A platform like YouTube, it's essential. God damn, I'm stuttering. It's essential for us to learn and thrive. It's essential for us to become better, and use the platform for other people to grow as well, right? Because if we're not using our voice to make sure that other people are growing, how can we want to grow ourselves? So, yeah, I know I just got into a big explanation of why and why I'm passionate about it, but I want to educate people on the fact that mental health is super important. The way you feel, super important. The way you think, super important. The way you communicate your feelings and needs is super important. The way you even attack your days, and what you eat and what you place in your body, and what the people you allow around yourself, all of this stuff is important, and we take it for granted. And we think that we could, like, especially, and when I say we, I'm saying from my community, I'm saying from the Bronx, most people, right, think that, like, oh, I don't have to be disciplined. I don't have to read a book. I don't have to educate myself. I don't have to do anything but have fun and die. You know what I'm saying? And the people who live like that wind up not happy, miserable, wondering why their life is the way it is, and not being able to change or make a difference in their personal lives. But I'm here to tell y'all, like, yo, the moment I started becoming aware, the moment I took my life serious and said, hey, you know what? I want more for myself and for my family and for the people around me. That's the moment that everything transitioned and changed. I was reading a book by Rhonda Byrne, right? I got the name right this time. But it was really important that she was like, oh, hey, you know, it's called The Secret, right? And the secret was pretty much that, like, what you think is what you manifest in your life. And so many people put more energy into not thinking right. Like, they're either doubting themselves, because guess what? We were taught to doubt ourselves. I mean, if you're on drugs or you're drinking or you're overweight, it's easy for you to doubt yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or you have any complications or something like that. Let's say you got health problems, whatever you're suffering with, those problems are those problems, but that's not you. Like, you can overcome that. And I think that when we do have our challenges, our trials and tribulations, we wind up resorting to something else that doesn't help us grow in that situation, but it hinders us. It makes us actually struggle more than what we would have did if we would have just faced the problem in itself. So yeah, so I was listening to the book and I was listening to, like, oh, you know, yo, we gotta stay focused, we gotta stay consistent in the things that we want, because if this is what we want, and this is the life battle, like, look, let me tell you something. And when I was 18, I was about like 175, 180. I wasn't thinking about that I was gonna gain all of this weight back. I didn't think that, oh, you know, life would have changed. I was having so much fun. But the moment I started drinking, I blew up. I blew up crazy. I started drinking beer one year with one of my friends that's no longer my friend right now. Like, but what ended up happening was that, like, when I drank that beer, I gained like 20 pounds. Because guess what happened? I had no type of discipline. Like, I'm like, oh, what the hell just happened? Like, why did I just gain all of that weight? There's so much carbs in beer. I didn't know that at the time. But that easily placed 20 pounds on me that summer. And then, you know, once you get drinking habits and you form them, you continue. You don't stop. Like, you don't stop doing something that you find as fun. As you find as, like, oh yeah, you know what? This is gonna be my regimen. And the way it impacts somebody else may not be the same way liquor impacts you, right? So, tough lesson that I had to learn was that, you know, there were people who at the time were struggling with weight, and I used to make fun of them. And then vice versa, fast forward, guess what happened? I ended up actually giving myself the same thing that somebody else once was struggling with. I ended up resorting right to that. And what it taught me, right, is that one, we cannot judge nobody. And it's so easily, like, everybody is so quick to judge people for the way they behave, the way they act, for the way that, you know, life hits them. But I'm here to tell you that, like, people's battles is their battles. And one, like, if you feel like somebody could do something better, you would not believe how much it would help somebody if you were just to give some advice, if you know something that can push them through to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And let's stop beating each other down because we're going through the same struggle just in a different way, and start building one another up, you know? And that's what this world wants us to do. This is what America wants us to do. They don't want us to grow as a community. No. It's survival of the fittest out here. And if you're going to be somebody who's going to be at the top, you got to realize, like, yo, I got to stay focused. I owe it to my family, you know. And I grew up, you know, what made me be so focused and be like, you know what, I can achieve anything at this moment. I've seen my mother go through college, single parent, you know what I'm saying? Thrive through it, graduate. I watched her walk. And those things made me motivated to be like, you know what? My mother's going to watch me walk and graduate college. My mother's going to see me thrive. She's going to see me excel. I'm going to be more than just enough. You know what I mean? And it took a long time for me to realize, like, hey, I can be more. And I know I'm going on a tangent about why it's so essential to believe in yourself, but you have to use the things around you that are positive to make you get to the next level of positivity. You need to educate yourself more. If I could talk to myself from the past, I would tell myself, like, yo, you need to start reading more books. You need to start educating yourself. Like, the friends that you have right now, some of them gonna be your friends, but not everybody's gonna be your friend. And that's perfectly okay, but what is more important is you focusing on you and getting to the next level. Because guess what? I feel like I'm at a level where I wasn't prior. Like 5 years ago, me 5 years ago wouldn't even think what I'm doing today is possible, which is a beautiful thing. But my thing is with it is that, like, now that I'm at this level, is it like, oh, that's it? This is what life is? Or is it like, hey, no. How can I be more focused? How can I get things more together so that way there's more stability from my family? And even if it's not even for your family, for you. Like, but I think essentially what's important is that once you grow and you know something, to give back, you have to give back. And what I realize is that, like, I have a lot to say when it comes to how we tackle our lives. Like, we're not tackling it right. Like, yo, I partied. You know, I sat there in the clubs. I sat there and spent all my bread. I sat there and popped bottles, bought bottles in the club. And I can assure you, it wasn't worth it. Like, and yes, the moment and the memory was fun. I get that. But you know what wasn't fun? Me being broke to the next paycheck. Me not knowing, oh, you know, if I'm going to be able to buy. And at the time, I wasn't even driving. But me not being able to know, like, hey, yo, I'm going to go buy this Metro card. I'm going to get through the month or the week or whatever the case may be. And then get right back to it again. And it's like, no, like, we can live better than that. It's crazy because New York is a place where they pay decent, right? But it also costs a lot to live in New York. But if you're blessed to make a certain salary in New York and you're living paycheck to paycheck, it almost defeats the purpose, right? If we can't sit there and do something with our money and grow and develop and create financial stability or freedom for ourselves, then what are we doing? Check to check, work to work. We're going to work for the rest of our lives? You know? Come on. So this is why it's so important and crucial to change the mindset and focus on you. You know what I mean? Like, mental health is super important, and I think that all of this ties into mental health. Because guess what? If I ain't got no money, everything, and I'm a tourist, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if I ain't got no money, then everything with me goes out of order. Like, I stop putting main focus on, like, exercise or, like, reading or, like, doing everything else until I can get it back up. And that's not right. You know what I mean? You have to be strong enough to be like, nah, I got to keep this balance even through it all. Keep the balance through it all. If I can go back in time, I would do things super different. But I'm not even trying to go back in time because you know why? I realized that I needed those lessons to create these blessings. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like lessons create blessings. I feel like it's time for us to actually tap in and become better, pour more into ourselves, utilize this YouTube platform and heal our mental health. If it's not for you, it's for your loved ones, for your kids. Like, we need to give back to our personal communities, to our personal families, and actually give them better and more, and teach them more, because it's, let's not become a product of our environment. And I know it's hard, but if it's easy, life's gonna be hard. I just saw this freaking quote, and I think it's so beautiful. If it's easy, life's gonna be hard, but if it's hard, life's gonna be easy. So, if you like this, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about mental health and how important it is to you, and if you had any changes within your life once you started tapping into your own personal mental health. I'm gonna holla at me.